Good afternoon. This is 30 frames a second, as the sign said, and I'm Nat Wood. And again today, it is my pleasure to have one hell of a guest on the show. Before I tell you who our guest is, we're going to show a roll-in of something he was involved in, and then we'll show you a short clip, and then we'll get back, and it will be my pleasure to introduce this young man. David, when you're ready, hit the button.
Freedom of death! Freedom of death! Death to white supremacy! Death to white supremacy! Black power! Yes, sir! You may be seated, family. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. A million more times for supporting, standing with the new Black Panther Party, Philadelphia chapter.
Go ahead.
Thank you. We honestly, family, truly give y'all so much love because we know you give us so much of your time, your effort, and your love. So we just want to show it back to you by bringing our national chairman to you in the city of Crackerly Slugs, as we call it. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The city of white brotherly love. That's right. But it's our turn to return to you. And we want to say thank you. Thank you so much. And the sister hit it right on point. There should be no chairs in here empty. As much recruiting and many flyers we done passed out, much promotion that we had done. That's right. Our people are just asleep. That's right. Our people are just asleep. That's right. So don't blame yourself. Give yourself a round of applause for being here to support the Philadelphia chapter of the new Black Panther Party. To our national chairman, we love and honor you, sir. That's right. That's right. That's right. And we stand. The Philadelphia chapter stands with Malik Zulu Shabazz. Black power. Ain't gonna be none of that crazy Malcolm history between Malcolm and Elijah. Ain't gonna be none of that crazy history between Dr. Khalid and Louis Farrakhan. That's right. We're not making that happen today. Because we are taught if we understand history and we know history, then we are to change what? The future. That's right. So I took my suspension. I took the ridicule and the belittling. I took it all. That's right. I took it all. We took it all. That's right. That's right. That's right. And I taught this man how to hold the line. And we held the line. Regardless to what this cracker said, regardless to how many times this cracker called my phone, can we just get you to say something? Yeah. Go straight to hell, do not pass go, and do not collect $200. That's right. Go to hell. Not giving you no interview. That's right. So for a whole entire year, you didn't hear a word from me. You didn't hear a peep from me. Right. But I'm still taking heads on the internet. Best believe it. That's right. But you didn't hear a word from me or anyone from Philadelphia against our leader. That's right. You didn't hear a word from me against our organization. Because I knew better. That's right. I was taught better. And Grandma always said, boy, if you know better, show better. That's right. A student of Dr. Khalid, a student of Malcolm, a student of Minister Farrakhan. And I understood this. And I had to just humble myself. Rising above emotions into the thinking of God. And that's what happened, family. I had no idea Fox Jews was going to take the name of King Samir Shabazz and just run it all over the world. white man to do that. Did you send a memo? I didn't know about that. We didn't ask the white man to do that. But my national chairman said to me, before it all went down, Allah has a plan for you. Did you not?
Yes, sir.
Allah has a plan for you.
Go ahead.
You just gotta be wise enough to understand and hold the line.
That's right.
Some things are gonna happen that you're not gonna like.
All right. For the clueless, if you haven't figured it out by now, my guest today is the one, the only, the controversial, the inimitable chairman of the Philadelphia chapter of the New Black Panther Party, King Samir.
Black Power.
Black Power. So, my brother, in a few short minutes, you addressed a lot of the stuff that I'm going to ask you about. First of all, in the clip, we saw probably the two people, you know, you speaking and a slight pan to Malik. Mm-hmm. But between the two of you guys, you have really set Fox News on a conniption fit. I mean, I saw Geraldo literally do somersaults about you.
Yes, sir.
And poor Michelle Malkin, oh my God, I thought she was going to throw her shoe at Malik. Tell us about your relationship with Fox News and what set this off, specifically the voting thing in Philadelphia. Give us some insight on this.
Well, there is no relationship with Fox News.
Okay, all right.
You know, it's soldier and enemy. Mm-hmm. That is the relationship with King Samir and Fox News. Mm-hmm. I have no love or respect for white people, no remorse for white people whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Our job at that time was to secure our elders because there was neo-Nazi forces in Philly and the state of Pennsylvania, surrounding areas, promoting their plot to harm and even outright brutalize and murder our youth and elders for going to vote via Obama or insane John McCain. So we did what we felt as though was necessary to do as vanguards of our people and secure our elders and secure our babies. So we sat down with many other organizations and formulated a plan for not just that particular polling place, but polling places all over the city that we've secured that day. Fortunately and unfortunately, that particular polling place was the target for not only Fox News, but just, you know, private cracker media in general. The little Peckerwood who came up with his cell phone, he was just a lowly, broke trailer park trash cracker from University of Penn, just trying to make a name for himself. So I thank that Peckerwood for making a name for me when he thought he was really going to get all the credit, but God has glorified the New Black Panther Party and King Samir to the level of our people are now coming into the ranks of the New Black Panther Party by the hundreds and the thousands. So we're growing. So our job, sir, was to just basically secure our elders, our women, and our children, as we all as black men should be doing on an everyday basis, not just during voting time, not just during Black History Month, each and every single day, 365 days of the year. We should be protecting and securing our own communities.
Now, the full title of the New Black Panther Party is the New Black Panther Party for Self-Defense.
Yes, sir.
It is my understanding, first of all, that no person who was entering the polling place was injured or hurt in any way, and that this case went to court. As a matter of fact, Eric Holder himself came up with some sort of resolution to this thing. Mm-hmm. Tell us specifically what the resolution was, what they said.
Well, basically, we basically didn't go to court. Mm. That is our God-given right. Mm. Who is this white man to tell us when, where, and how we can protect and defend our own people. So no, we didn't go to court.
But the case was basically resolved.
The case was so-called resolved.
Okay.
You know, whenever you're dealing with war with your enemy, it's never over.
Right, right.
So no matter what Fox Jews say, no matter what
that's where
redneck
Fox comes in.
Glenn Beck says,
They were not satisfied
right.
with.
So and even now, just recently, they were speaking about how Eric Holder said that there was no favoritism towards the new Black Panther Party within this case. There's a lot of things detailing the case, you know, technical stuff that really I don't want to get into. But overall, we done what we did, and you know, the overall plot of the matter is we have to secure our people, regardless to whom or what. So with the whole Obama administration and Eric Holder piece, you know, that's all good. But what they've told me was I cannot go to a polling place with a weapon.
Right.
With a weapon.
Right.
Let's be specific.
Right.
With a weapon.
Right.
Within 100 feet of a polling place until 2012. Well, here's what I said to the Peckerwood. I don't give a damn. I don't vote anyway. I don't go to your polling places anyway. Our job that particular day was to secure our women and our elders so they can share that right to vote via, you know, no drama Obama or insane McCain. But our job was to make sure that they were secured to do so. What Fox Jews did not tell you and will not tell you is how the neo-Nazi groups, a few of them, came up to the polling places, going inside of the polling place, harassing our elders, harassing the people who were managers and supervisors and elected officials to work the polling places. How these crackers were going inside of the polling places and pulling people out, questioning them about the ballots and different things. But see, this is where you're dealing with the propaganda of your enemy. So we are taught to oppose what your enemy support and support what your enemy opposes. So when you see things like Michelle, the two-legged dog Malkin, talking about Fox Jews, or the whore Megyn Kelly talking about the new Black Panther Party intimidating voters, there was not one voter outside of the crackers who came to harass our people. There was not one voter, black or white, that can honestly say they were intimidated by the new Black Panther Party. They were harassed by the new Black Panther Party. They were violated by the new Black Panther Party. None of that went down, because if they show you the clip on YouTube, like they've been showing, you will see the new Black Panther Party helping the elders get out of the vehicles. As the vehicles pulled up, we were helping them with the groceries, getting out of the car, helping them in their wheelchairs and folding up the wheelchairs to and fro the car. The police were coming up asking us, is everything okay? Do y'all need any help? Is it everything good? Yes, sir, officer, everything is fine, thank you, but we're here today. So all of the rhetoric and the lies and the propaganda is basically to discredit the works of the new Black Panther Party, to discredit the works of black people rising and taking control of their communities.
Now, historically, and you're correct, as far as I'm privy, the knowledge that I'm privy to, no one, absolutely no one, has made a statement that they were unable to vote because of any actions by the new Black Panther Party for self-defense. Voter intimidation is historically significant, especially to black people in America. As a matter of fact, as we speak, legislation is being drawn up, specifically in New Hampshire and other places, to limit, or more specifically eliminate, the ability for college students to vote. And one of the biggest constituents that Obama had was the youth movement. Just like the youth movement in Egypt is responsible for that revolutionary action, so too are the youth in America responsible for electing the first black president in America. So voter intimidation and limiting people's ability to vote is not only historically significant, but it's very significant even today. And the tactics are a little different now. They have like billionaires funding the Tea Party, the Koch brothers funding the Tea Party. They got legislators who are trying to eliminate collective bargaining among unions in Wisconsin, and they got legislators in New Hampshire trying to make sure that college kids can't vote. And what's interesting is the reason that William O'Brien is the guy's name. He's the speaker in New Hampshire. And the reason he gave was that basically the young people were fools and they voted their feelings and they were going to vote liberal, which is a strange kind of logic because if you apply that kind of logic, in my mind, well, you could say the same thing about anyone who has in excess of $5 million. Anyone who's a millionaire should be eliminated from political activity altogether because they have no relationship at all with the vast majorities of people in the United States.
Well, Malcolm said it best. He who controls the way you think controls the way you act. So if you have a liberal cracker teaching you for generations after generation, then the mindset of that said student will be that of a liberal. If you have just a straight up devil, racist to the core, the 10%, the bloodsuckers of the poor, if you have this kind of person teaching our youth for generation after generation, that child, the mindset of that youth will be that of a bloodsucker of the poor. So we have to look at when these crackers talk about the youth movements and stopping and try to legislate laws against youth movements. If we study our history, the youth are the ones to lead the change. The youth are the ones to lead the revolution. These are the ones to take us into the next so-called new millennium or the new world order. So as long as the black child is kept docile, as long as the black child is to be made weak and continue to have homosexuality put in front of him and made to be a faggot or a lesbian at a very early age. Do you realize now that these crackers are teaching our children in their school curriculum about gay activists and what they call the diverse multicultural curriculum? So these are the things that we're continuously going through. So it doesn't surprise me to hear a cracker talk like this. It doesn't surprise me at all. It makes me think, though, that black people need to wake up, clean up, and stand up. Because as long as we are keeping our minds focused on voting for another coon, voting for another devil to put somebody in office to do for us what we should and will be doing for ourselves eventually, then we're going to always be in this condition of having to beg at the feet of white people.
It is true. We have absolutely no control over our own education system. Do you think that more control of the black community over the school structure that their kids are involved in would produce a different result, or?
We need a thorough knowledge of ourselves. We need to learn who we are as a great and mighty people. As long as we are dependent upon our enemies to teach us how to be that great king or that great queen or that great black god or great black goddess, then we look like fools today. We really look like strong coons, continuing to beg our slave master to teach us a thorough knowledge of ourselves. When this no good Peckerwood has clearly shown us he doesn't love us, he has no care of us, no remorse for us, no respect for us. So we need to create our own educational system. We need to create our own school and school system and curriculum. We can no longer, in 2011, look for this cracker to teach us on how to build and do for ourselves. That is not freedom. That is basically religion. That is what religion has led us to. So if the black man is God and the black woman is the earth, then how is it that we have become so docile, so weak, so minstreled and watermeloned out that we have to still run around here and legislate, fight and vote and march and sing and dance just to have African history. I didn't say African American history, African history, true African history. And I teach a lot of people because they always ask me, I'm always asked the question, well, how are y'all stopping the violence? Well, I mean, if you can't stop the violence in your own self first, you can't look for me to stop the violence. If we can't teach our babies how great they are, the greatness of themselves, this is why our babies murder each other by the thousands with no love and honor about it. Because as long as I see you as just the N-word, as long as I see you as nothing, then I'm seeing myself as the very same thing. So it's easy for me to put a bullet in the head of nothing than it is for me to stand up and be a man and put a bullet in the same no good peck of wood that brought us here and put us in this condition in the first place.
We have quite a few different quote-unquote leaders or leading blacks in the community. And each one of them has a specific, their own unique spin as to how to get us out of the condition we're in. Malana Karinga, when you talk about the issue of reparations, says that reparations, that we're entitled to reparations for some sort of moral aspect, and that money should be put into the education system. You have quite a few leading blacks or black leaders who specifically believe, or at least espouse, political strength. You have legislators and a black president, and you have religious leaders who espouse more jobs at Walmart. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's just a myriad of solutions. How would you address some of these leaders? You have, and there seems to be like differences within the black community itself among the leadership. Mm-hmm. Some advocate for a curriculum of diversity and tolerance, and others like Ruben Diaz Sr., who are in the clergy is dead set against that. So you have different philosophies within the structure of black leadership. Mm-hmm. Is it possible for all of these leaders to come together in some sort of way and carve out a plan for black youth in black America that leads to a successful conclusion for us?
Yes, anything is possible, especially when we're talking about the upliftment and liberation and salvation of the black nation. Anything is possible. But the question remains is, how dedicated are you to the struggle of our people? How sincere are you to the struggle of our people? One of the great problems that I see, sir, is that our egos get in the way. We can't differentiate our egos. We can't separate the me attitude, the all about me, I want to be self-grandized, compared to the struggle and the liberation of those who paved the way before us. So it is possible, but we worried about whose religion is the best. We worry about who got the best gator shoes on. We worry about who got the silkiest bow tie on. You understand? I mean, we worry about stuff that has no relevance to our upliftment as a people. This is why the Mexican people, the Latino people can unite. They can call for a mass rally in one day, and they shut America down in one day, where we, unfortunately, still got to beg the white man to get off the plantation for that one day. We still create excuses, weak, cooning excuses. And this is wrong. This is what is wrong that I see with a lot of these black leaders. They have their own hidden agendas because they're really not about the struggle of our people. They're really not about the liberation of our people. They're really not about revolution. They just want a little trinkets from their slave master. They want a little 501c3 from the slave master. They want a little pat on the head. Or if they're only getting one pat, they want 2 or 3 extra pats. They want a little extra overtime on the plantation. So the whole feeling of being able to struggle is gone in black leaders today. Because the white man knows all I got to do is give these coon and Negroes a little check and they're going to be okay. So my little nigga, you just go on back in the corner over there and you better behave yourself. See? And we're stuck in that mentality. We're stuck in the trying to please massa mentality. And until we send a message, a clear, direct message to this no good slave master that we want freedom. We're not begging for freedom. We're taking our freedom. How are we taking our freedom? We're opening up schools and hospitals. We're opening up programs and we're opening up self-awareness programs, political education classes. So now we don't have to worry about voting in a coon for our president. Most of our people have gone back to sleep, put the covers over their heads, start snoring again. Because they feel as though now they have a black man in office, everything is going to be all right. But did you know that gun sales have gone up? Cracker militias have gone up. It's almost 200 militias since Obama, white militias, since Barack Obama has got in office. Why is that? Because these crackers know and understand that their demise is coming. Their world is coming down, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad speaks on the fall of America. So as we're looking at our leaders to save us, our leaders are turning their backs on us. And we're left with nothing but our own black selves all over again. So again, it's time to wake up, clean up, and stand up. Build a nation of our own. We don't have to follow the white man's political system. We can build our own political structure, build our own transportation structure, build our own educational structure, build our own industrial and commerce structure. See? So when we have the community gardens all across the country in different cities, you know, the cracker is now trying to make those community gardens illegal. So he's showing us his love for us, but we continue to show him our love for him by turning our back on our own people. A lot of these dudes just want a damn check from the cracker, man. A lot of these dudes just want to sleep with no good, nasty cracker women. And they're happy with that. And they feel as though that's as far that they've made change. They can now lie and slob all over a nasty cracker in the bed. That's not change. That is not change. Malcolm said it best. You want change, it's going to take some bloodshed. That is revolution.
So it's safe to assume on my part that the new Black Panther Party, their agenda is more nationalism than socialism?
Yes, sir. We are black nationalists.
So what would you say to a Milana Karenga who you know, and I'm not even going to get into differences between us and the Panthers historically or any of that, but just the modern concept of how to distribute reparations money. What would be your thoughts on that?
If the white man gave us reparations, the cracker would get it right back tomorrow. He's so wickedly wise. Let me just throw something at you. The cracker is so wise, he would create a reparations Lexus. Okay? New Lexus, red, black, and green it out for you, gold rims, give you the works. Reparations edition Lexus. How many of those Lexuses you think will be sold today if the cracker gave us some reparations money? We would give every dime right back to that cracker. So there has to be a struggle. It has to be earned. We cannot beg this white man. We can't write on some piece of paper and continue to march up and down D.C. and beg this cracker to give us reparations. Germany didn't get free like that. America didn't become free like that. okay? So we have to follow the guidelines. We got to fall in line. We have to take America to war. We have to take the world of white supremacy to war. We have to go to war with the very ideology of Willie Lynch and the crackers before Willie. We got to go to war, man. This cracker will not respect us as long as we cooning and buffooning. As long as we run around here talking about, I wave my hair back and forth and go ahead, girl, put your leg up and all that kind of stuff, you will never be free as a people. The United States government of America will not respect the issue of reparations every time it comes before the United Nations. Barack Obama himself said he does not support reparations because it would upset the ideology of America in this day and time. But you don't tell the Jews that, the so-called cracker Jews in the synagogues of Satan, who gets over millions and millions and millions of dollars every year just for their owning and operating expenses as a Jewish nation. But what happened to the black man's reparations? Why is it every time we speak of reparations, we're called racist? We're called anti-Semitic. We're called bigots and haters and black supremacists and all this foolishness. But we just want what is due just to us. We want more than 40 acres and a mule. But we want what belongs to us. So 196,940,000 square miles of this planet Earth belongs to the original black man. I don't just want 40 acres. I want 196,940,000 square miles of this planet Earth. So reparations really, I mean, and as disunited as we are, we can't even talk about reparations to the United Nations.
How did that, in your opinion, how did that come about? How did we go from building Black Wall Street in 1921?
Integration.
Okay.
Integration has killed the black man. Integration has killed the black woman. Do you realize we gave our lives to sit on a nasty, decrepit toilet some stinking cracker just got up off of? Do you realize we gave our lives to drink water from a water fountain some paper lip cracker just got his lips off of? We gave our lives to sit in a movie theater watching black people exploit themselves. As long as we were sitting next to a cracker, we was all right. We sat in restaurants and ate ham sandwiches with these Peckerwoods.
Excuse me. We have a call, and we're gonna get to the caller. If you want to, you can just put it through. No, we don't have 11 calls, but you can put it through when you get it. I'm sorry.
So integration has killed us. It destroyed our movement. It destroyed our will to fight. It destroyed black unity. It destroyed black on black love. It destroyed black businesses. It destroyed the ideology of doing for self. It destroyed building a nation. It has killed the black man. 2011, we think it's all right to be integrated. We actually, some black folks feel you ain't cool if you ain't got no cracker dog on your arm.
Caller, bear with us for just a moment. I think we're having some difficulty. Remember, David, you got to activate speakers 3 and 4. 1 and 2 is not active. And you got to pull up the pot that says caller on the audio board.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
All right. How are you?
Oh, we're fine, thank you. You have a question?
Yeah, I have a question and a statement as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like what the brother's saying, and what he's doing is his movement is cool. I like what he's saying, but where he's coming from, I'm in concert with him a little something. But you got to know that you got to make things palatable to the generation that's out there today, and the fiery way you're saying it on TV is cool and everything. But you got to know where you at too sometime, and you got to temper what you say to a certain audience, and what you're saying I'm in concert with it, but like, you know, just be careful out there because everything is documented nowadays, you know what I mean? And, you know, you got to know your audience and where you're going out to, you feel me? And I don't want no, things have to be done in a positive way, but then, you know, the fiery way is one thing that works back in the day, you know? But nowadays, we have people that's conscious, and there's multicultural blacks, you know what I mean? And a lot of them comes from an intelligent background too, and they use their head sometimes and deal with things. And it's time, it's 2011, it's time we take our rhetoric and, you know, take it more into an action kind of thing, you know. Use that same fervor and then make action, you know. Start to go out there and organize people to do things in a positive way that we could get a voice more than just talking. And like you said, that marching thing is foolishness. It definitely is. It's a waste of shoe leather, what we call it, right? But we now, it's the time frame where we in a digital age. We should go out there now and start getting organized. And there's a thing that happened in the election where the machines wasn't working right there down the street from Harlem State Office Building, the voting machines. And they had our people standing up for blocks and blocks where just 10 blocks below 110th Street, people could walk in and out. The machines was working. If they didn't feel like waiting, they could go home, have a ham sandwich, and come back and use the machine. But then, meanwhile, 10 blocks up above 110th Street, near the Harlem State Office Building, people out there waiting to vote got jobs and stuff to go to. They had to wait lines and lines, and the machines ain't working. Only 2 machines and one ain't working. You understand? So these things need to be addressed by the party too, as well. You know, if we want to put a man in office, and we need to do local voting as well. You know, we can't just wait till the general election. We got to do local and get people involved in it. You know what I mean?
All right, caller. Thank you for that, King Samir. Would you like to address?
There are children right now in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Venezuela, wherever, in Kyrgyzstan, wherever. But there are babies right now, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 18 years old, who are growing up in countries fighting for their liberation each and every single day. As I sit here right at this very minute, there are young boys and girls throwing rocks at tanks. They're throwing rocks at these crackers who are invading their countries. We can no longer sit by and kowtow and bootlick and buck dance and moonwalk and slam dunk and hit a few home runs and think that that's going to get us free. We have to fight. There is no way we're going to gain our freedom and independence without fighting. There is no such thing, sir, as humbly as I respect what you're saying. But we have to get out of this multicultural foolishness, because Marcus Garvey taught race first. He gave us the red, the black, and the green. And he did not add any white to that red, black, and the green, because that is the flag of the universal black man and black woman. So when we're dealing with the teachings of race first, this means that we have to worry about black people first. We have to unite ourselves first before we can worry about voting and legislating and anything other than that. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that before we even talk about reparations, in the chapter Land of Our Own and Qualifications in his book Message to the Black Man, the first point he discusses is that we must have unity. Without unity, we can't talk about reparations, let alone have a march for reparations. We can't talk about voting for another president, let alone have a march for voting for another president if we are not united as a people. But yes, sir, you are correct. It takes more programs and opportunities of things to really reach our people, but at the same time, we can no longer continue to buck dance and kowtow when these pigs are constantly beating and raping our babies and our mothers and our children and murdering us in the street. Some of these pigs must be sent to the pig pen or the cemetery in self-defense. Some of these crackers, sir, are just going to have to become casualties of war and self-defense, because we cannot continue to buck dance when it comes to the liberation of our families, especially when we have to protect the black woman.
All right, we have another caller, but before we get to the caller, I just want to throw this into the equation. If we're speaking of a nationalistic or a Black Power movement, ultimately that's an economic movement. It's not like it was in the 50s and 60s. Right now, the entire world is plugged into a global capitalist system. Every single country, every nation trades on a stock market of some sort, whether it's the Hang Seng or the
Chang Wang,
whatever it is.
Yes, sir.
Whether it's China, Malaysia, whether it's Russia, Brazil, Venezuela, every single country is plugged into a global capitalism. That means that in order for us to establish economics, we have to be in touch with a global system of economics. What are your thoughts about that? It's impossible to be separate and still affect change in places like Africa, which is being raped of their natural resources and their economics as we speak. And we are, for the most part, ineffective in trying to prevent that or affect some sort of positive change.
Well, we're ineffective here.
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
We're very ineffective here. So I can't expect to try to make a big change in Africa when there has been no change made in my own hometown. There's been no change made in my own country. I love Africa. We wear it on our uniforms. But I have to clean up my own house first before I come clean the roaches and the rats and the crackers in somebody else's home. You understand? So what has to happen, we need to create our own society. Right here, it is not hard to be separate from this white man. That is the problem. Well, we are not separate from this white man.
That's specifically what I'm
But here's the thing. Here's where I'm going with that. Yes, we need international trade. We need bartering and different reachings of the political structure. You know, and I was just watching Savior's Day, 1974, by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, just yesterday, and how the Secretary of the Nation of Islam was talking about everything the Nation of Islam was building in Africa, the trades they were making with China, the different things they were doing with Afghanistan and Pakistan and all the different Muslim countries, and how they were formulating a united front to build an economic basis for America, for the black man in America. So we have many leaders who came before us to set up an economic structure. The Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey.
Man, he was talking about global shipping.
Yeah, that's right.
In 1920,
that's right.
Which is very
and
big.
Made it happen.
Correct.
And made it happen. So when we look at the Nation of Islam, who did the exact same thing worldwide.
Correct.
And made it happen.
Correct.
But again, we've been made so docile. Integration, see, has now stripped us of the very thinking of global economics. Because as I just told a brother on my way here, we are people who are right now. Crackers think on a futuristic level. See, I remember watching the Jetsons way back in the 70s. And if you look at the Jetsons were basically on a futuristic level, dealing with space and time and traveling through the Milky Ways and the galaxies, through their little space cars and all that stuff. But now today in 2011, we see that coming into fruition. See? So the cracker is always thinking ahead, but we are people who are thinking of right now. We want everything right now. If I can't get it now, I want to deal with it now. This is why we have nothing right now. And we allowed integration to come in and just swoop us right under the rug.
We have a call. Caller, you can chime in if you're still there. Is the caller still there? Or?
Hello.
Hello.
Well, where does one start? I mean, the gentleman here talking about Marcus Garvey, I would like to talk about Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass said a very interesting thing. That was a cracker who said that it is clear that John Brown loved the Negro people more than I did, because although I am willing to live for them, John Brown was willing to die for them. This man comes on your show dressed in BDU, battle dress uniform replete with beret, which is the uniform of a warrior. A warrior is someone who fights with violence against an enemy in combat. This man has never done that, and I proclaim that he will never do that. You know, he's got on his BDU an emblem of Africa in the tricolor of what is a traditional flag of Libya, the flag that is now flying over Libya, except for Tripoli.
I must stop you right there, sir, because you obviously.
I want to finish my statement.
Well, I must stop you right here, sir, because you sound.
Right now on Channel 34 yesterday on Democracy Now!, Amy Goodman proclaimed that in Libya, under that flag you have on your arm, Africans are being chased through the streets and murdered and lynched by Libyans. The entire diaspora of the African people into the Western Hemisphere, into the New World, was started by Arabs from above the Sahara. Slavery, which ended in this country a long time ago, is still being carried out as we speak today in Africa. And crackers, as you refer to them, Christian crackers, at their own expense and at danger to their own lives, travel down to places like Somalia and Sudan and Darfur out of their own pocket to buy back into freedom little African boys and girls who are being subjected to slavery.
You sound like a really good coon.
Which are armed militias supported by the Arab patrons. And this man has the audacity to come on your program, sir, and use racial epithets. And, I mean, where does one start with this individual?
Well, okay, hold up. Let me address that, because you addressed that to me. For the record, I've allowed you, this is MNN, this is Access Television, and I've allowed you to use racial epithets. It is not my job, and I think that I have many times stated my own position, but right now I have a guest, and I'm asking him for his position so that you can evaluate that position and offer something to the conversation. I really don't want to get into Darfur, because I actually think that there are a few misnomers that, and we'll deal with the issue of Darfur and the issue of Libya on some other place in time. I will allow him to respond to your comments right now. I understand where you're coming from. Again, I didn't cut him off. I didn't cut you off. And if someone else calls up with a different opinion, I probably won't cut them off unless they go too crazy. But we'll allow King Samir to address your comments.
Yes, sir. You know, brother, it's that kind of talk that keeps us in this condition of being a weak, punctified, sissified black man. It hurts me, sir, to hear you come on this show sounding like a really good coon, sounding like a black man who's been patted on the head, probably being patted on the head right now by Penelope, hiding in your closet or your bed, baking cookies somewhere. You know, it really sickens me when black people try to wake up our own people. We have our own people who somehow, some way, strive to find a way to intellectualize why they still want to love their enemy. John Brown, I don't give a damn about that cracker. There's nowhere in history that's going to prove to me John Brown gave his life sincerely to help black people get free. What you obviously don't know, sir, is the political agenda that no good cracker John Brown had. It was not to help free black people. It was to make his name become a political name. Did you know John Brown wanted to run for political office So maybe you, sir, need to go really do some studying about your enemy that you claim to want to represent on this show here today, sounding like a minstrel man. Now, I'm glad the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey gave us the red, black, and green. This has nothing to do with Libya, and I will not allow you to sit here and equate this flag with Libya. This flag has been in existence for a very long time, sir. So what you need to do is really go pay attention and do your studies. Did you know the white man, the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States of America is behind Darfur. They're behind Somalia. They're behind Libya. They're behind Afghanistan. They're behind everywhere black people are suffering, sir. So don't sit up here and act like you just some old intellectual smartass, because really you sound like a good fool. Stand up, black man, be a man today, and stop defending this cracker.
Whoa, that was volatile. All right, as I said before, we'll get into the issue of Libya and Darfur and John Brown at some other time. And you can call me and ask me specifically what my views are on John Brown and Frederick Douglass and his assessment, and you'll probably find that we differ. In the meantime, because we're running out of time, we got about 5 minutes left, and the goal of this show is to actually come up with specific things that we can do as a people to move from point A to point B, yes, irrespective of white people. You know, I do sometimes think that we spend a lot of time either you use saucier words than I do, but some of the things that you said I actually subscribe to.
Yes, sir.
In point of fact, I do think that we spend far too much time trying to get the love of our white daddy, as opposed to taking care of our black children.
That's right.
We do have a number of serious problems. We have problems in housing. We have problems in education. We have problems in living day to day.
But how many solutions do we have?
Well, this is where I want to get. This is what we understand the problems.
Right. We could talk about the problems all day.
Let's talk about some solutions.
Well, it starts with self. You know, I was just speaking with an elder on the bus here, and we had a nice conversation. And as I told the elder, whatever we do, at the end of the night, we still have to look at ourselves in the mirror. We have to see that God in ourselves. We have to wake up, clean up, and stand up. We can no longer bow down to our oppressor or the oppression. We gotta fight. We have to fight. Fighting comes in many different degrees. Everybody can't be a frontline soldier like King Samir. But we need doctors. We need cooks. We need lawyers. We need judges. We need teachers. We need people who can plow the field. We need people who can clean the tools. So we need everybody to get in where they fit in and build a nation. Let's all come together to form that united front. I don't care what your religion is, as long as it's black. I don't care if you worship water. Just make sure that's the dirtiest water you can find. It's the blackest water on the planet, if that's what you're going to worship. But let's get out here, feed our people, educate our people, clothe and organize and mobilize our people to freedom and independence. I wish we had gotten to this a little sooner, but there was variables. But I actually don't subscribe to the Frederick Douglass philosophy that John Brown was better because John Brown was somehow willing to die. I don't think death in and of itself dictates what it means to win. Right. I don't think there's ever been a war where they counted up dead people and said, you got more dead people, so you win. You win, that's right.
We need a nation that is committed to living. As you said, We need doctors. We need economists. We need cooks. We need builders. We need architects. We need those things. We need those things. We need a nation. We need a nation. We don't just need dead bodies.
Right.
So the concept of dying, that's all we've been doing is dying. Malcolm is dead. We have not been able to replace him. You know, Marcus is dead. Our children are dying in leaps and bounds, and it's not doing us any good.
Right. And as long as we come with the John Brown ideology, we're going to remain dead.
Well, I never,
and trust me, I don't buy into that stuff
I
either.
don't even want to bring John Brown into the
I love Frederick
equation.
Douglass, but Frederick Douglass had a white woman.
I also,
I can't deal
there are
with
issues with Frederick Douglass that I don't necessarily agree with. There are things Malcolm did I don't necessarily agree with, and I love Malcolm to death.
And there may be some things I do you may not agree with.
There's things I do on Monday that by Wednesday I'm shaking my head saying, no, I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, we're going to have to wrap this up. We've run out of time. We could take this on and on and on and on and on. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of questions people have. And next week you'll get a chance to take a shot at me. But in the meantime, it has been my pleasure to have King Samir on the show, to hear from you. It has been your pleasure to be able to hear from King Samir, unedited, something something that you'll never be able to do anywhere else in the world. And we'll see you next week, and hopefully it'll be rock and roll one more time. Excellent. You can run that. I like that.
I thank the faggot Geraldo. I thank all the devils for showing the world that still exists. For showing the world that we are black men who will kill and die if necessary for the greater good of black people. In self-defense. Yes, sir. That's right. Huh? Right, sir. See what National Geographic